Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Bjorlo. Glad you're with us. The Waterbury woman who pleaded guilty to killing a local educator in October 2022 was sentenced in court this morning.
Heather Anderson will now go to prison for at least 25 years for the murder of 34-year-old Shelley Stamp.
Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc was inside the courtroom as Stamp's family read emotional statements aloud.
The judge made one thing very clear today. When Heather Anderson murdered Shelley Stamp, she killed her friends and family too. And that was very evident in their victim impact statements.
I struggle every day with a hole in my soul.
Shelley Stamp's sister and mother pouring their hearts out in court, begging the judge to send their loved one's killer away for life.
Please reconsider the sentence of 25 to 30 years and see that justice is finally served. Keep this animal in prison for the rest of her miserable life. This is the only justice.
Something Kathy DeVersa and her surviving daughter have been fighting for since October of 2022. That's when prosecutors say Heather Anderson, a stranger to Stamp, attacked, robbed, and murdered her at her Waterbury apartment. Shelley was found with a head wound with her own clothing wrapped around her neck.
This death, there was no reason, no excuse, no justification. It's a senseless and horrible act done out of greed.
Prosecutors say video evidence shows Anderson going in and out of Stamp's home for more than an hour, leaving with her shoes, wallet, and leftover food from her fridge, all, they say, for drug money.
It's the most serious crime we have here in Connecticut.
The judge sentencing Anderson to 30 years in prison for felony murder, with a requirement to serve a minimum of 25 years, explaining to the family that though 60 years is the maximum, the plea deal took precedent to avoid a trial.
As much as you feel the criminal justice system has failed you today, when she's getting 30 years, I can't imagine how you would feel if after trial she wasn't found guilty.
In answer, Stamp's family accepts but doesn't like, as they do their best to show up every day in Shelley's honor.
She had a heart of gold and always gave everyone the benefit of the doubt, some who may not have deserved it.
Her family describes Shelley as a loving sister, aunt, and educator, someone who can never be replaced.
Our family is destroyed. We are at a loss. We will never mend. Time does not heal all wounds. My daughter lost the most precious gift in the world. She lost her life.
Now, the family does want more accountability for the alleged co-defendant in this case. Now, Shannon Gritzback was arrested but released on misdemeanor charges. We are in Waterbury. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, thank you, Julia. Now to a Fox 61 exclusive. The controversial Bridgeport mayor's race is over, but the fight for free and fair elections is just beginning.
And now that fight will be taken straight to the state's highest court. Fox 61's Matt Caron is live outside the state Supreme Court in Hartford tonight with what we've learned. Matt.
Well, it has been 190 days since Wanda Jeter and others were caught on camera putting stacks of paper into the absentee ballot drop boxes in Bridgeport. But despite that video and despite a judge finding, quote, widespread evidence of ballot fraud, there's been no arrests or any charges. That may all change next month when the state Supreme Court hears a case.
What's the holdup? What is the holdup? I mean, you have the evidence even from 4 years ago.
We first introduced you to the group Fight Voter Fraud in November of 2023, when they drudged up this obscure state law to try and force a judge to issue an arrest warrant for election crimes for Bridgeport city worker Wanda Jeter and city councilor Anita Martinez.
Around the world, people are aware of Wanda the ballot stuffer.
But despite national news exposure, a court appearance, and criminal referrals that date back to 2019, Wanda walks free. In fact, she partied with her boss, the recently re-elected mayor, Joe Ganim, and was just re-elected as the vice chair of the Bridgeport Democratic Party.
We saw that the chief state's attorney's office was not moving forward. You know, we're supposed to have quick justice on everything.
So after getting rejected by several lower courts, Fight Voter Fraud appealed, filing this 94-page brief, which was just accepted and will be argued before the justices of the Connecticut Supreme Court.
I was just so excited about the fact that we are actually going to be heard.
Their case centers around Connecticut State Statute 9-368, which essentially says we, the people, have the power to force government to act.
Any vote that's cast illegally waters down the votes of those who are legal.
Dennis Crow of Madison is one of the voters who signed his name to the affidavit.
It almost seems like they want to turn a blind eye to all the problems that can exist.
A Superior Court judge who rejected the appeal has said the law allows for an arrest warrant to issue without providing a vehicle for prosecution and relies on a standard of less than probable cause. Now Connecticut Attorney General William Tong is weighing in, telling Fox 61 Connecticut believes in the rule of law, not vigilante justice. We are handling this case jointly with the Chief State's Attorney's Office and are confident we will prevail before the Supreme Court. And as for the Chief State's Attorney's Office, they got back to me a couple of minutes ago with a statement that simply says, quote, due to the pending appeal and investigation, it would be inappropriate to comment at this time. We should note that the Chief State's Attorney's Office has had the criminal referrals from the State Elections Enforcement Commission since June of last year. As of right now, no final date has been set for when the state's highest court will hear these arguments. We're live in Hartford. Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, you know you'll stay on it, Matt. Thank you very much. New details tonight. The family of a woman hit and killed by a speeding police cruiser in New Britain has filed a wrongful death lawsuit. The family of Katherine Colognes is suing the officer involved here, Connor Range, and the city of New Britain. Last year, the 40-year-old mother died when Officer Range hit her with his cruiser while responding to a call. The lawsuit states the cruiser was going 60 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone and did not have its lights on or sirens at the time. Officer Range has been out of work and on restricted duty since that crash. Earlier this month, the state's attorney's office ruled there was not enough evidence to charge Range with manslaughter in this crash, while placing some of the blame on the victim, Colognes. Well, it's the first day of spring. Doesn't really feel like it, and we could even see some rain throughout the night.
You've got the system moving in right now. You can see it right behind Rachel. I got a text from my wife 30 minutes ago, Rach, that it's snowing at my house.
Wow. There you go. Welcome to spring in New England, right? We've got rain, cold rain, a few snowflakes mixing in, and some areas like the hills could pick up a quick coating to an inch of snow. We've got a few flakes right now in Goshen. It's not showing up as snow in the higher elevations of Canton and Burlington, but we know that it is, again, just by hearing from people. And where we're seeing these brighter oranges and reds, I think what we're seeing is melting snowflakes being picked up on the radar. So even though it's showing up as heavy rain, it's actually rain mixing in with a few wet snowflakes around Hamden. Same is true here around Old Saybrook. Most of it is melting though before it reaches the ground. And we're seeing steady rain across Windham as well. But I wanted to show you the back edge because this means business here. There's even a few rumbles of thunder associated with it and a snow squall warning up for the Berkshires. So we'll be watching this last burst that ends up coming through, and that could put down a quick coating to an inch of snow for some in Litchfield County. So here's what that looks like on the future radar as this comes through, and it is out of here by around 9 o'clock. So for the news at 10, we're drying, and by daybreak, we're seeing lots of sun, but it'll be windy and colder. Your full forecast, timing out rain for the weekend coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Pro-life advocates and religious leaders gathered at the state capitol today for the 2024 Connecticut March for Life. The event began with a rally featuring speeches from advocates outside the state capitol, followed by the march. This is the third year the march has been held here in Connecticut, with marchers advocating for pro-life protections in state law.
Another busy day at the state capitol as lawmakers heard from the public about a range of bills from street takeovers to possibly eliminating the state's film tax credit.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst joins us now in studio to break it all down. Emma.
Brent, Bridget, we told you last hour about that street takeover bill, but while local leaders push for those new tools, another bill up for public hearing today proposed taking one away.
Frankly, it scares everyone.
Those in the state's film and television industry gathered to oppose a bill to eliminate Connecticut's film production tax credit.
People don't really know about the Connecticut tax credit, but as soon as they hear about it, they're interested. They want to come here. They want to shoot here. We have a lot of great locations.
Black and her husband own a production services company. They say even though the industry struggled from the pandemic to recent strikes, filming brings tourism and jobs to Connecticut.
We have to have these tax incentives to keep these businesses here and to encourage them to invest more in the state. If there is no reason for them to be here, I don't think they're going to stay.
Those in favor argue this credit loses the state money.
According to data on the tax credits from the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development, Connecticut lost in net state revenue an average of more than $60 million a year, and a total of nearly $900 million from 2007 to 2023.
They claim without the credits, the production industry in Connecticut would sink.
The primary argument for maintaining these tax credits is essentially that the industry is going to collapse without them. But from a public policy perspective, that's really an argument for eliminating them. It just means you're on a financial dead end. There is no point at which, if you remove these, you're going to have a self-sustaining industry.
But workers believe that's why the credits are necessary, saying production companies will leave the state and new ones won't come if the tax credit is scrapped.
They're going to go wherever they can get the most bang for their buck. So we're trying to keep them in Connecticut. If we eliminate this credit, all of that work goes away. We don't have a production services company anymore, because what are we servicing? No one's going to come here.
And this film tax credit bill was raised with bipartisan support by Democrat and Republican leadership. Lawmakers on the Finance Committee today saying they want to try and balance growing this state's production industry while also making smart monetary decisions for Connecticut. The committee will vote whether to advance this bill in the coming weeks. Bridget, Brent.